Hey, tea sippers. Hey, tea sippers. Hey, tea sippers. So listen, I'm following up. Did I do that? Following up with Carmelo Anthony and the court hearing for a retrial. I think it got busy. I don't know where to start. I don't know if I need to start with the news or if I need to start with Judea Brown, the funny guy. Dang it. Come on in, y'all. I know we slow coming in. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Hey, Samantha. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Uh, I don't want to stall because they may come up with a decision to, hey, Janet, today. So I really don't want to stall. But hey, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to. It's just so much. I've been gone too long. It's so much I'm behind on. And then when I get off of here, I try to, once I lay down, child, it's a wrap. Let me start with defense rest. It said they rest the defense. I'm seeing if this is updated information. So let's listen together. Is that all right? Let's
It
go.
is finally Friday. Welcome to the Post. I'm Lauren Prisball here with Megan Boyd, and we are on day 2 of really closely following this Carmelo Anthony hearing. This is concerning a possible appeal in the case. Yesterday, a lot of eye-opening things. We learned a lot about what wasn't talked about in the trial,
What
what the
wasn't, what was
lawyers
left
for
out, what
both
it didn't want
sides
us to
had
hear.
decided or gentlemen's agreement to not discuss in the case. Kind of evidence on both sides that definitely didn't put either of them in positive light, I think is safe to say.
But the law
We are
is
continuing our
keep
team
your hands
coverage.
to
We still have
yourself.
Alex Boyer back in the courtroom with us this morning. He is giving us really minute by minute details over the computer because no
Remember, this
cameras
is
are
about
allowed
keeping your
inside.
hands to
And then we
yourself.
got Lori Brown outside the
Self-defense.
courthouse joining us with some of the updates. Lori, what's the latest? What are you hearing is happening inside?
So, Lauren, right now the co-counsel for Carmelo Anthony is on the stand. Longtime criminal defense attorney Toby Shook, and he has talked about how he was a former law partner with the prosecutor Bill Werski, and they were friends dating back to 1994. The defense team thought that would be
So
a
it was
good
a
idea
favor.
because he would know how Bill Werski worked, but perhaps the friendship might have created this sense of trust that now we're seeing the big breakdown of that has prompted everyone to be here in this motion for the new trial. So it was Werski that approached his friend Toby
Hey,
Shook about
Krista.
this gentleman's agreement, and we have now learned a lot of new information about exactly what both sides didn't want to get into this trial. On the defense side, they didn't want information about Carmelo Anthony's girlfriend reporting that she was worried that he was stalking her. She reported that to the assistant principal the morning of the stabbing. There was also a text message that he had sent back in 2024 talking about, when I stab someone, I want to lick the blood
It
off
was
the knife. So very
2023.
potentially damaging information. And then, but also from
And
the
let's
other
be clear. That was a statement that was made 2 years, 2 to 3 years before this incident happened. So what's its relevance? I have no idea. But carry on.
off the knife. So very potentially damaging information. And then, but also from the other standpoint, there are issues involving Austin Metcalf's character that the prosecutors wanted to keep out, involving a racially charged graffiti incident, 7 school suspensions, a stay away order from a black student, and also
Seven
an
or
assault that
several.
happened
Stay
back when
away from black students, Lord. Let's listen.
black student, and also an assault that happened back when he was 10 years old. School suspensions, a stay away order from a black student, and also an assault that happened back when he was 10 years old involving a girl. So lots of important information. 7 school
They
suspensions,
made him
a
seem
stay
like he
away
was a
order from a
perfect
black
kid. I tried to tell
Metcalf's
y'all.
character that the prosecutors wanted to keep out, involving a racially charged graffiti incident. 7 school suspensions, a stay away order from a black student, and also an assault that happened back when he was 10 years old involving a girl. So lots of important information writing on this verbal agreement. Now the question is, can that verbal agreement translate into some kind of legal error that would be grounds for a new trial.
Yeah, we had an attorney here yesterday on the Post, and he said, you know, those gentleman agreements or whatever's discussed, it's not illegal. It can and is done in a lot of cases where the two attorneys talk and they
They were
figure out
friends.
how the case is going to go down. I thought something that was, well, first of all, I want to mention, Alex just posted that the defense is rested in the case.
And they're taking a 15-minute break.
15-minute break right now, so that's what's going on in there. But interesting something, Lori, the judge has said in this case that his ruling will be submitted by email. It is not something, usually the judge will get up and he'll give his ruling from the bench. But I'm curious, I'm wondering if because of safety concerns, after the court yesterday, we saw everybody pour on out, everyone was outside, a little charged, if you will, too, even without a decision made in this case. But I'm wondering if security is an issue. They also talked about how the lawyers were worried about their safety.
I wonder
and the
why
judge
they was
worried.
charged. I mean,
but
what was
judge
the
is
hype?
saying that he is, his decision, when it comes on if there will be an appeal or not, another trial in this case, will come in the form
I
of
didn't
an
know that they
email,
jumped on
not
it,
from him on
choked
the
out their
bench.
mama and beat up the dad. I knew about the
Check this
dad,
out. I'm going to show
but
you
I
how
did
I
not
afford
know
this
about
car.
the mama choking.
Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance.
Nope. I didn't know he put his hands around his mama neck. Never knew that.
That's how much I was paying. Okay, I picked up the car.
Right. Yeah, that ruling will be filed electronically, and then a spokesperson is going to email that ruling out so that we can all find out. And of course, that will take away potentially some of the security concerns. Security concerns have been talked about a whole lot. During the trial, there were a lot of death threats involved, and so that has been a real hot button issue now. The atmosphere out here is a lot different than it was during the trial. A big part of that could be because there is a big overflow room, so instead of everyone being outside, they're being able to be inside and follow what's going on. But I can imagine that ruling could really cause very strong emotions on either side. So perhaps it is a wise idea that this will come at a later time.
Lori, we obviously have been following. We knew this could have maybe wrapped up yesterday. They're taking this 15-minute break now, so we'll watch closely to see how much longer this goes. But it seems one of the center conversations that's happening is about Carmelo Anthony's decision to not testify. We know that it is the defendant's decision whether or not to take the stand, but do we know if his attorneys recommended that he testify?
Yeah, that has really been the million-dollar question, the question that I was wondering all day yesterday, and we have now learned that we're not going to probably ever find out whether his attorneys recommended for him to testify or not. And the reason is when Bill Werski, the prosecutor, asked Toby Shook, did you recommend that he testify or did you recommend that he not testify? And Russell Wilson, Anthony's new attorney, objected, citing attorney-client privilege, and the judge upheld that. And so the counsel will not ever have to answer that question about what their recommendation was. But Bill Werski kind of put some language in there saying to his friend Toby Shook, hey, you know that I relish cross-examining a witness. And Toby Shook said, I do. So you could kind of read between the lines there that Carmelo Anthony's counsel, Toby Shook, knew
Right, Crystal.
that Bill Werski could be really tough on cross-examination. So perhaps they did make that as a recommendation for him not to testify. We know that in the end, it was Carmelo Anthony's decision, and he stated on the record that it was his decision not to testify.
Because he was recommended by his attorney.
The attorney we talked to yesterday said it's always up to the client first, if the client just says they want it or not. But then, the attorney always has to weigh everything. And if this does go to a new trial, at least the attorney we talked to yesterday said this could be months. I mean, this isn't something that would happen quickly. He also mentioned that the majority of murder cases that try to be, murder convictions cases that try to be appealed in Texas, I mean, the ones that get that appeal, that get a new trial is very, very slim. It's a very slim margin if you're just taking a look at the numbers.
Well, they messed up that bad. Y'all hit the like button, please.
A big win for Anthony if that indeed were to happen.
Right. It's definitely a high bar. Everything that we've heard so far doesn't necessarily point to any legal errors, which is the bar that they have to reach. A lot of it is based on this somewhat unusual, but what makes there are a lot of verbal agreements, as the attorney mentioned. However, one thing that they pointed out yesterday is that what made this agreement different was sort of the scope of it, and also the fact that the defense was giving over their questions that they would use to cross-examine witnesses. They were giving those questions to the prosecutor to basically approve, so that they didn't
Twin got over
accidentally open
50
up this
sheet
door
record. Yep.
to character. So that was unusual. The judge signified that he thought that this was unusual, but both sides did agree to it.
Right.
Wow, that is unusual. I haven't heard of that happening before, but yeah, we never know. We
They
never
did
know
what?
this is it.
Computer to basically approve, so that they didn't accidentally open. The defense was giving
So many
over their
precautions for the
questions that
Metcalfs.
they would use to cross-examine witnesses. They were giving those questions to the prosecutor to basically approve, so that they didn't accidentally open up this door to character. So that was unusual. The judge signified that he thought that this was unusual, but both sides did agree to it.
Right.
Wow, that is unusual. I haven't heard of that
Hey,
happening
Natural
before,
in
but
New
yeah,
Orleans.
we never know. We never know what's this is. This is a very unique look at a trial after the fact,
Right.
which we don't always get.
Yeah, you have lawyers who are on the stand from the original trial having to answer questions, but then there's, lawyer-client privileges, so they don't have to say everything, but they're,
Right.
just to get into all these details about what happened through that trial has been really interesting to see. And we know they're in that 15-minute break right now. Lori, looks like there's a little bit of activity behind you. Things you said have been pretty quiet for the most part outside.
Yes, it's been a very safe feeling atmosphere. There are a lot of people inside though, so things could change very dramatically if there were to have been a decision made from the bench. But now we know that will probably not happen today. So at least we don't have that to contend with. But it has been extremely interesting to have a look at the attorneys having to answer the questions, and the attorneys being on the stand. You rarely see that. They're usually the ones that are doing all the asking of the questions.
Good point. Good point. All right, we will stay on top of the story as we have the last couple of days and even before.
Okay, let's see where we going next. Y'all please double tap the face of the screen. If you're listening on your phone device, hit those three dots at the top. If you're not, however you choose to hit it. I miss everyone. Oh, I know. It's been a minute. I'm getting it back together. Who is National Desk? Let's go to our boy, Judes. Let's see what he talking about. He is funny. Beware of Bill. Who is Bill? I'm just a Bill.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? This is your boy Jedediah.
Jedediah. There you go.
Man, I don't have the best lens right now, but just so you know, for credibility purposes, I'm sitting right outside of Harlan County Courthouse.
This was 2 hours ago.
And I'm assuming. So I had to step out to take a call, but I am assuming by what I'm seeing, certain individuals who was just in there. Let me see real quick. Hey, bro, they not on break, are they? Oh, they on break right now? Okay, all right, baby. So we all need to get ready to go back in. When I walked out, I'm assuming that they took a break not long after, because I had to step out to take a call. But what I want to do really quickly before I go back in this courtroom is that I want to just say a couple of things. The first one is as I always say, I've been an advocate for a long time. I'm not a content creator. I do have a YouTube page, but this is not that for me. I was doing this well before any of this mainstream independent journalistic stuff started happening. And so I'm an advocate, and it's really who I am at my core. And the reason why I am saying that is because I just think that there is a difference. You feel me? So with that being said, I want to first
Did you hear
off say to
Scott
you
on
guys,
yesterday
thank
say
you.
he
I don't utilize this to pay
He
my
installed
personal
and fell
bills.
asleep
But I was so
in the car.
blessed
Yeah, I
because I
heard him.
thought this would be concluded yesterday. I had only scheduled for one day, which means that I
Yeah, he
had
was on
to
some case a long
miss
time
my
ago. You
flight,
right.
get another stay here in Dallas, as well as extend my rental well. Basically, I have another day with this vehicle. But this is what I'm gonna say, and this is why that thing is there. I am not doing this for content. Sometimes people do. I'm so, and it is so grateful. And from around the country, there are over. I haven't really responded to all of the lunch requests because that I had on Fox News was funny, and obviously it was what a lot of people wanted to say. But this is what I'm gonna say. Y'all, I have ADHD, and I'm from Chicago. And I always tell people, there's one thing you don't do, and that's piss me off. Because when you piss me off, I'm going from God ain't done with me yet to we going straight to hell. And so that's literally what happened. And I forgot all about that interview because I had came back to the court late. They gave my ticket, they took my ticket and gave it to somebody else. So I was out here retaliating. I was out here retaliating, and anybody that I saw could get it, from the sheriffs to other, and that's literally what happened. So there's a lot of stuff that didn't make it on camera, but that was a part of my retaliation. And I saw Fox, and I just been so frustrated with their reporting, and I just knew that they just kept on spinning the stuff. And so when I saw that reporter, y'all, if you look at it, I went up there behind them because again, I don't just be doing stuff. I really do pay attention. I went up there and I was listening. And he was like, there was a overflow room. He was explaining about how there was supposed to be this overflow room, but it was based on what Bill Worski was saying. So I slid out that motherfucker, and then I said, stop lying. It was a reaction. Stop lying. And I was so frustrated that it is absolutely right. When black people clap, stop lying. It's so crazy because I was saying it to him and to the station. And so I knew that they was going to edit it. No. Because I
You
asked
thought
the
they was
man, I
gonna
said,
edit it.
y'all live, right? And he said, yes. So I figured they going to cut that off the moment that I start
Yeah.
talking. And so when that, I can't see what the newsroom is doing, something to my man, so I know that I hear him saying, I'm just going to give it back to you, so I know they're finna cut it off. So I said, so fuck y'all. And the timing of it was
Was perfect.
so impeccably perfect that it's a
Perfect.
meme now. Everybody talking about,
Fuck
if you
Fox.
see, if I stand behind you clapping, somebody lying, it's all kind of stuff that has come out of that, and it is absolutely funny, and it is a blessing, and it's inspiring. But it's also like, damn, now everybody in the country talking about buying your boy lunch, and I think that it's a blessing. But I want us to pay attention to everything and not just these moments. But I'm not gonna take away that moment because
Bruh,
that shit was
home.
funny as fuck. Now,
Hey,
before I go
Marie.
back in there, because like I said, this lady did. She asked me about the rental car, and I told her, and I didn't expect for her to do that. She sent me the money for me. She was like, "Well, I'm gonna pay for the late fee," and I was like, "Whoa!" And she really did it. So now I got a job to do. So I wanted to. I know the fuck you lying.
Mm-mm.
I know you lying.
What?
Now how the hell did that happen? Y'all, I promise I took notes. It ain't a damn note. Oh my God. Did I take somebody else's paper? It's not even one note on here.
Oh, wow. Somebody done switch papers. Oh, wow.
I swear to God, I am not trying to be funny. It ain't, well, y'all can't. What the fuck?
You can't remember?
Oh, okay. My paper over here. Okay, here go the paper. Like, cause I was finna say.
Oh,
Hold
wow.
on one second.
I was gonna laugh
Thought
at
I,
you.
I thought, okay, I was gonna have to do this for memory recall, but we got them. Okay, so this was the one that was in my pocket. This is my real notes. Okay. So anyway, basically. basically, what's going on or what's been happening this morning is, first of all, I was a little salty, but I'm also proud because when I got here this morning, like yesterday, I got up. And, first of all, this is what I do want to say. Y'all is the reason why I didn't get a damn ticket this morning. Why? Because y'all was dinging my damn phone all night about this damn Fox clip and people calling me talking about nothing. And so I was up responding and cackling and laughing and shit, knowing I had to go, that it was already 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So this morning, I'm fighting
Late.
demons and sleep because I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I tell you what, I wanted that sleep so bad that I kept putting that thing from 3-minute alarms. That's how bad I needed a little more sleep. So I'm sitting up here like, I got time. Some people left. Nobody, everybody, people couldn't stay over there. I got time. When I got at this courtroom today,
It was 6 o'clock.
when I pulled up, I saw that line. I was like, damn. I knew it was 40. I knew it was 40 people on there. So it was 40. I was like, I ain't even going to get no ticket this morning. But I'm here. So I walked up, and everybody was like, you viral. That was funny as fuck. But yeah, get to the back. Get to the back. I'm like, but y'all you kind of like need.
You ain't gonna let me skip.
I'm like, people kind of like gonna come. When I come on, they gonna kind of like you want me to look and see so I can tell because people gonna, once I go live, they gonna tune in. They was like that was funny to the motherfucker. And some people didn't see it or didn't know yet, but the ones who did, it was like that was some funny shit. Get in the back. These people they're not playing. Ain't nobody up here playing. Black folks is turning on black folks for a seat in the courthouse. I never thought that I would see the day. That we fight each other for a seat in the courtroom. Normally, we don't want to be in a motherfucker, but everybody, we team Carmelo until somebody think you finna get in front of them. Shit on out the window. So I went on ahead and said, well, fuck it then. I went back to my car and I read some more of my comments from around the country for my viral moment, laughing my ass off, and that's how I encourage myself. But I said, you know what? I'm going to the overflow because I'm not too good for overflow. Now let me tell you a long story short. Fuck the real courthouse. Go to the overflow. They so free over there. They eating snacks. They laughing, passing notes, making noises. I'm like, nigga, this where you want to be. So you want to fight for that ticket, and then I'm getting up here at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we in bondage over there in the real courthouse. You gotta sit there. You can't even breathe in that bitch. The judge, the sheriff, be like, somebody blinked. You blink again, you getting out. But over here at the overflow, they looking at multiple screens, so you get images. You can see in front of everybody. You can hear them. We over there high-fiving, taking notes, sharing resources and shit. So yeah, I don't even want no ticket no more. So I'm glad I missed that. See, all things work together. So while I'm sitting there resting, we're going to the courtroom. That's all good. They kicked somebody out. They kicked out the lady with the cowboy hat. And the reason why I know is because now everybody coming and telling me shit because they know that people gonna pay attention to my life. So now everybody coming to me. I'm saying, well, no. Don't come in here don't come in here telling me shit, because now y'all want me to be bold. Now y'all want me to say,
right.
Now all of a sudden, y'all want me to be the motherfucking spokesman. They like,
you should have let me
They
eat.
kicked, now they don't even, Jebediah, they kicked the lady out there with the thing. Okay, and I'm sitting in the overflow. Y'all got tickets. Real shit. So they kicked somebody out. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it was a lady who was here yesterday. She wore a cowboy hat. She was very nice, very kind, but for some reason, they took her ticket, came in the overflow, they offered them tickets, and I was explaining the difference for a couple people, and they was getting ready to fight over who can go in the other room, and they was like, no, we stand over here. It's freedom over here. So, long story short, confirmed. Sitting in the hearing this morning, first of all, I do want to say to y'all that Carmelo looks damn good. This young man got a future in front of him.
Absolutely.
Because there is something about his ability to focus and about his presence that is just, it literally emulates somebody with a future. That's the first thing. God picked this this kid, and ain't nobody gonna tell me different. And for those of you who say, why would God pick a kid to go through this? Because I
Everybody get picked. Everything is called according to his purpose and his plan, not our purpose, not our plan. Yeah, everybody who have been through the struggle was chosen long before they was placed in their mother's womb, long before their dad released that, that icing. That's how God do it. Yeah, his purpose, his plan. But listen, y'all, I've been gone over a month, so I got to get back into the algorithm. I need for y'all to like this live, share it out, share it out. Got to get back into the algorithm, okay? There's a lot of cleanup work I got to do, but right now I need for y'all to get me back into the algorithm by sharing this live. Sharing the live last night, sharing my little 60-second, 20-second, share that out for me. Like it and then share it. I see some of y'all give me comments on it, but don't hit the like button. Because it'll show me the first person that hit it after I hit it, and it'd be me. But y'all don't make comments on it. So please be mindful. I got to get back into the algorithm. I got to get back monetized. There's a lot of changes that has went on. But y'all help me motivate myself. Hit the like button. Share out the video. Judaiah, he funny. He real funny. And it's been a long time since I seen him. That he popped out. I don't remember what it was that was going on. I don't remember if it was George Floyd that he was very active in, or not the insurrection. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but he's really funny. He more funny now than he was before. Before, I think he was more serious, but he funny is I'll get out. Happy Friday, y'all. Let's go.
not his ways and our thoughts are not his thoughts. And the Bible says that all things work together for the good, even if it means that you focus and about his presence. That is just, it literally emulates somebody with a future. That's the first thing. God picked this kid, and ain't nobody gonna tell me different. And for those of you who say, why would God pick a kid to go through this? Because our ways are not his ways and our thoughts are not his thoughts.
Absolutely.
And the Bible says that all things work together for the good,
For
even
him
if
who
it
loves
means
the Lord.
that you gotta handle it. Okay, y'all. And if you want to read the Bible in the beginning, when he actually told people, go kill everybody, kill them, their kids, their wives, their cattle, don't act like God above all that. So God picked this child, and you can see it on him. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed today is that Carmelo got on. Now, I don't know who really working or who his style is, but they got today. His hair wasn't nappy today. Carmelo, he brushed his hair today. They must have got the message. I told y'all, and get mad at me if you want to. I love her so much to tell the truth. Carmelo came in there yesterday, beady bald. I'm like, now they ain't got, so y'all ain't got a brush in this bitch. All these motherfuckers around here working, ain't nobody got a brush. His hair was brushed today.
Yeah, because he stayed in Collin County jail.
Carmelo have on that Obama tan suit. I see what y'all doing. He got that Obama tan suit on. And so he's sitting there looking real good and looking poised. And so he got that Obama suit on. So the thing that I want to talk about, and I got to go real fast because I need to get back in there because I don't get banned again. So the first thing that I want to say is that the prosecution and the second strand attorney that was on his defense are friends, confirmed. They were working on projects together. They have tried both defense and prosecution cases together. Okay. Yeah. So that was a bombshell that we got yesterday, confirmed by testimony today.
We knew that.
I think his name is whatever the guy's name in there today. Y'all told you that it is in my attention span. I think it's Scholl or Schultz or whatever the hell's name is, Shook. He is the guy that's been testifying all morning. And that's why I'm praying that they will And I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, but I'm really praying that they can get through this today because they've been asking. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. So they were friends. They did work on cases together. But this is the thing, and why I titled it. Y'all be careful of Bill. Anybody that is in this county, I want you to hear me. If Bill Worski is your prosecutor, I need you to make sure that you sound every alarm you got because that's one slick, slimy, manipulative ass man. But it makes him a good prosecutor. He know his job. I don't think he would thrive as a defense attorney because that man works for the devil. And so, how do I know? Because you got to look at how he could have been a pimp, but he ain't got no sauce. But you can see about how manipulative and how able, how he maneuvers and how his mind moves. It's both methodical how he moves, but he's more emotionally methodical because he's been caught with his hands in the cookie jar. And then you got Russell, who is methodical and patient and poised, and because he know he. Let me tell y'all what, man. I'm gonna say this. Because sometimes you got to worry about your words not coming back to you right. But I trust God. I've been praying, and I came ready for the fight. But this is what I know for a fact. That man Russell know in his heart that they got that case. Every time he speaks, he ain't got to do nothing extra. He ain't got to fight. The other lawyers is looking at him because they want him to say a little bit more or object. But Russell chilling because Russell got this thing. And every time he talk, that's all I can see is he got it. He got it. I'm literally telling y'all, I'm sitting here and I feel like I'm looking at it's imminent that they gonna have to give this boy another trial. And so, this is the thing. This whole thing about this argument, this is where this testimony is so valuable. But I got to give it to Shook. Mr. Toby Shook is actually handling himself well. And what they're doing is the reason why the questioning is taking so long is because Russell clear, concise, he got the facts, he know what he's looking for, he getting it and going. It's the passing of the cross-examination. Bill Worski won't let the shit go because he caught. That's why it's taking so long. That's why we're going slow on these people because they are exposing in their conversation, even with this we friends and we trust you and when you work well, they're still telling what we would not have known. But y'all got to be in there to get this thing. Y'all got to be in there to get this thing because Shook is giving it in the sense of saying, yes, we had a gentleman's agreement, but you basically trying to manipulate it, but I'm smart too. And this is what's so okay, so hold on. So the prosecutor is double talking, but you got to have an anointing to tell when the devil is talking. You got to have an anointing. You got to be able to decipher information. And so I've learned that as an advocate, you got to pay attention to what's not being said and what's being said. So Bill in there saying, we wanted him to testify. We expected him to testify. But the core of all of the questioning is the fact that there was an argument. No, I don't naturally know. And they're fighting because it's only 12. The defense is saying that they basically impeded Carmelo's ability to testify. And okay, let me calm down. Because I got to get this. I got to get this right. Slow down. I got to get this right. I get excited. Let me get this right. What I want y'all to understand is that Shook is saying that, no, this what Russell did that fucked it off. Russell fucked up the game when he did this. He messed it up. He went and found this man's teachings to what is known as the CLE. So Bill Worski teaches, and it's a class that you have to take. You got to take this class to keep your license current in this county or this state or something like that. And Bill Worski. Okay, y'all. So Naturally Nolans is saying, nope, get the lights up. So she is telling me to pause it. Y'all double tap the face of y'all screen. Hit that panther right there. So bam, bam on your phone. Or hit those 3 dots at the top right corner. And we don't care how many people in here. We want y'all to hit the like button. Come on, y'all. And I don't have time to play with you. It's showing 13 people have hit the like button only.
Y'all see those three dots at the top right corner? It'll take you to the thumbs up or thumbs down. You choose what you want to do, but do something. And then share the live.
He actually teaches the class. So Russell,
Janet has
brilliant
spoken.
ass, went and pulled up his teacher, brought the man's PowerPoint, and in the
Oh, wow.
PowerPoint, it said,
Oh, wow.
as a teaching point from Bill Warski, that if Russell did that fucked it off, Russell fucked up the game when he did this. He went and found this man's
Teaching.
teachings.
Oh, my.
What is known as the CLE. So Bill Warski teaches, and it's a class that you have to take. You got to take this class.
Shout out to
keep
Jedediah.
your license current in this county or this state or something like that. And Bill Warski actually teaches the class. So Russell, brilliant ass, went and pulled up his teacher, brought the man's PowerPoint, and
Oh, wow.
in the PowerPoint it said, as a teaching point from Bill Warski, that if you want to win a self-defense claim,
Thank you,
check this out.
Mouthpiece.
It is basically you want the defendant
Mouthpiece,
to
then stop
testify. You possibly
being
you
shady.
really it's a strong
Just smash the lights up.
In order to establish self-defense, you want them to testify. I said,
He went and got his
come on, man.
PowerPoint.
And so he showed him.
They are not playing.
It said as a teaching point from Bill Warski that if you want
I know he
to
mad.
win a self-defense claim, check this out. It is you want.
Thank you.
Basically, you want the defendant to testify. You really, it's a strong, in order to establish self-defense, you want them to testify. I said,
Stop.
come on, man. And so he showed him that, and he said, yeah, that's mine. And I saw Bill put his head down in his hand.
My God,
Yeah, they
dang.
went and got your teachers, my boy. And so he asked him, he said, do you all share teachings and notes? And Shook said, yeah. He said, have you ever used any of Bill's material? He said, yes. He said, have you ever used this? He said, yes. And oh my God, I was like, come through. Come through. And so now it's established. You want them to testify
Right.
to establish self-defense. Okay. So Bill saying, I wanted him to testify. Shook saying, we wanted him to testify.
But
so then the question becomes,
why
why
didn't
we
he testify?
arguing about this then? If everybody wanted him to testify.
they had a
Because
whole,
what
they had a whole powwow. Them 3 hours, 4 or 5 months ago, when we was waiting and they was, da-da-da-da-da, I thought that the argument was about Hunter testifying. So, if y'all wanted it, everybody agreed, then what was the 3 hours for? What was the powwow for? What intimidated Carmelo Anthony about him testifying that made him say, nah, I'm scared now, huh? Yeah, y'all full of bugs, you busted. Let's go.
Prosecution is trying to do is he's trying to spin it and saying, we would have loved if he would have testified.
Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Yeah, why you spinning it now? Huh? Why you spinning it now? Let's go.
Shook saying, we wanted him to testify. So then the question becomes, why are we arguing about this then? If everybody wanted him to testify. Because what the prosecution is trying to do is he's trying to spin it and saying,
thank you, Mouthpiece.
we would have loved if he would have testified. Then why you arguing about being shocked that they wanted him to testify? Because you double talking. But let me tell you why you double talking. Because you know that in order to establish this self-defense, y'all check this out, then you needed, when he said, well, you wouldn't want, this is what the prosecutor said, you wouldn't want them to testify if they're young and what is it? What is the word that he used? Unsophisticated. And everybody in my
What?
courtroom, because y'all know we can make sounds and overflow, they was like, bitch. Like, that's what they was thinking. I'm
Ah!
translating. And we was like, oh, so now you're trying to say he unsophisticated. So then when
Ah!
Russell made a statement about that, then Worski, he said it in the courtroom because that's how he worked. He's trying to manipulate the situation. So then Shook said, no, you want them to testify as if they're young. And he left it at that. And then the prosecutor said, well, yeah, if they're young, I can see how you would want them to testify because it's going to give the perception to the juror of a young person testifying. So I'm saying, come on, y'all, keep working this thing. And so
Make them talk.
so then he said,
Make
and
these
Roach is a motherfucker. I
woodpeckers
always
talk,
tell
tell
the
on
person to go to
themselves.
jail. So Shook was mad because they were arguing because Bill said, y'all never said that he was going to testify in our gentleman's agreement.
Oh,
The
wow.
gentleman's agreement is that we're not going to talk about the character of these individuals. We're just going to isolate this case clean based on what happened in the tent. And so then Shook said, but you know that in order to establish self-defense, then you need the witness to testify. So in other words, we
Yeah.
didn't need to talk about him testifying because that should have already been expected.
What's
So
understood don't
Bill
need to
trying to
be
manipulate
explained.
it to say, well, but y'all never said that he was going to testify, but I would have loved for him to testify. So basically then the question becomes, so what's the problem?
Well, why
So
didn't he?
now I get it. Now they having this shouting match back and forth about if this was proper because they had a deal. Because now Bill trying to manipulate it because he don't want Carmelo to speak and he don't want to talk about the character of them because he know that if they were to compile Austin's character to Carmelo's character, that
Blow
would
him out the
literally
blow
skew
him
the
out.
minds of the people in the room. I'm sitting up here, y'all. I don't know how I'm here. I don't even know how I'm keeping my seat.
They
I'm
not
sorry,
equal
y'all.
no way.
Y'all got to go find another person that know how to keep their composure when they tell the story. I just get so full. Let me pause. I got to calm myself down a little bit more. But y'all gonna make me miss the rest of this court case. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, come on, come through. So then he said. So Shook said that then the judge threatened to hold him in contempt for rolling his eyes.
What?
What?
You can roll
So
your
he said the
eyes?
judge threatened to hold me in contempt for rolling my eyes because that's how heated it got. So they had to pause and take a step. So what the defense is saying is that y'all basically created an environment where they did not have a righteous opportunity to establish self-defense because y'all tried to isolate it to this tent and not talking about character, and y'all did it in a way that manipulated, check this out, the mind of the defendant. So what Shook was saying is that we understood what was going on. The decision was in Carmelo, and Carmelo didn't trust you. Now, this is when I understood it at the
The
best
assignment.
moment. So what happens
Explain.
is that Carmelo is listening to all of this. There is this notion of opening the door. You don't want to make a mistake and open up the door for information to come out that wasn't supposed to come out that will impede the deal. Now get this. So they're arguing back and forth. Carmelo got this little bitty window to decide if he's going to testify. And it's not a righteous window because of all of the emotions. Now, here is where it gets clear. Because the stuff that came out yesterday, Carmelo did not trust Jaworski with the ability to cross-examine him because he felt that he was going to find a way to dishonor the gentleman's agreement and highlight him as this stalker who had this fight with his girlfriend, who was contemplating violence because they had to brief him on the information that they had. That young boy was scared. But I'm going
Right.
to tell y'all, Carmelo faced this thing as a boy, but now he's standing in this appeal as a man.
Man. Oh, let's go.
He ain't shaking at all. He writing notes. He looking. He speaking.
Yeah, his-
because he felt that he was going to find a way
Yeah, he
to
ain't falling for it.
dishonor the gentleman's agreement and highlight him as this stalker who had this fight with his girlfriend, who was contemplating violence because they had to brief him on the information that they had. That young boy was scared. But I'm going to tell y'all, Carmelo faced this thing as a boy, but now he's standing in this appeal as a man. It ain't nothing. He ain't shaking at all. He writing notes. He looking. He speaking. He engaging. God got a way of getting you to where he gonna take you to.
He woke him up.
Get it. So Carmelo was saying, I'm not gonna testify because they put fear in him.
On purpose.
Based
They
on
worked
what he
that
thought,
together.
They would contend with him because Carmelo did not know Austin and he did not know all of the other stuff that they could tell about Austin. And the only thing that he knew about Austin, two things, is that number one, he's seen Austin in an altercation at a prior experience. And number two, Austin was coming after him.
That's all he knew.
Did they not? And as I alleged,
that's all he knew. Is who he saw them jump some other time, not long before that incident, was coming after him. They have seen, he saw them jump somebody else. I think somewhere I heard yesterday, hell, they jumped Eddie Pyra, who was trying to set up Carmelo. So they did not know each other prior, but he has seen them jump somebody before. The truth will set you free. Let's go.
this part I'm still working on. Did they not tell y'all that they got a text message of Austin saying, go get him?
What?
Prior experience. And number two, Austin was coming. Did they not tell y'all that they got a text message of Austin saying, go get him? So.
Austin. Well, that would make sense the way Hunter was walking up there to him, walking and damn near running to the bleachers, went straight up there, hopped, skipped, and jumped right up there in his face. Hunter. Man, you lying to me. Let's go. Stand your ground. Keep your hands to yourself.
Prosecutor saying, we didn't envision him testifying. Shook saying, you didn't need to envision him to testify. Because that was already understood that he would testify. Mm-hmm. So in other words, we get your play. So basically, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Bill manipulative ass maneuvered this in a way where he was trying to get them to be under such pressure that the jury never got to see Carmelo as a human, Carmelo as a young man, Carmelo as a good guy, and who Austin would be. And he also did it in a way that was basically, he held it to a point where it caught them off their square. Mm. So it all makes sense. Wow. Anthony Carmelo wanted to testify. He was scared of the ability and the intent of the prosecutor.
He was scared that they was going to bring up his girlfriend's situation. That's it. He wasn't scared they was going to bring up nothing about what happened on the track field up under that tent. He was concerned about his girlfriend.
So I'm going to end it there because I got to get my black ass back in there. I guess the break is over. But y'all telling me to go back in there. Hold on now. I did not just tell y'all I'm different. Somebody act that I'm different. I told her I'm gonna come out here and give updates, and I'm doing that. I'm different. And I'm sleepy. Y'all get my energy. Imagine it's hard sitting in there. I love Russell, but he still talks slow than a motherfucker. Bill keep asking the same shit over and over and over again, trying to figure out how to spin his way out the web. We got you, bitch. And I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning after only 2 hours of sleep because of some damn viral video y'all want to keep talking about. Thomas, get back up in there. I need a Red Bull, nigga. I'll go back up in there right now. I'm going to be just...
Oh, wow. Mm,
I'm
mm,
gonna be
mm,
sweet.
mm.
Now, last thing I'm gonna tell y'all because I think this shit funny. I was walking up, true story, and the producer of another news station saw me walking up, and she yelled, "I think we have everything we need for this moment, this segment." I said, "Girl, ain't nobody finna come over here and say shit." I said, "Did you?"
Fox is Fox News
She was like,
scared?
"No, we're not Fox." I was like, "You good? You good?" Swear to God, it happened. I was
Oh
walking up.
wow.
She turned around. She said, "I think we have everything we need for this segment, for this moment."
She did not want to get caught with him behind her.
I should have stood and said, "No, I got something to say."
Mm-mm. Baby, it's a whole different texture and atmosphere,
I
huh?
really don't be trying to go viral. I swear to God. But if y'all know me, I always go viral because I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say what I feel, think, and or want to do, and don't fucking make me mad because then, like I said, I'm going to hell. And I'm taking you with me. And I always tell people I'm dragging you to hell, and I'm gonna try to run out before they close the door.
Wow. Do you see how many people are sharing your live stream on TV? No, I don't. I can't see that. What are you showing
This
us?
is outside the courthouse. Not as big of a crowd. Not as big as a crowd outside, but I think most people actually are inside the overflow. I hope I said something that added value to your life. I want y'all to do me a favor and really quickly just tell me, was this a righteous and a good update? I'm asking for myself because I do know I get excited. I do know I get very passionate when I talk. And I sometimes, because of the way my mind goes so fast, I don't even get all the points. And that's why I had to look back at my notes again. He was fearful of facing the allegations that we now know. The argument was because the prosecutor didn't envision testifying. The prosecutor taught the CLE classes, and that Shook testified that he should say, okay. So in other words, Bill Worski lying. He didn't want him to testify because he didn't want. He didn't want him to testify because he didn't want y'all to find out how human Carmelo actually is and how dehumanized Austin Metcalf actually was. Shit's deep. Stop making deals with these devils and pay attention to everything when people are representing you and your life is on the line. It's the biggest lesson I got out of this. And Sarah, I know you're watching now. I see you ain't saying nothing back. It's a good girl. I don't want to get no back and forth. I see you talking shit and putting everybody else in the posters up there and responding and everything else. But after I got on your ass, Sarah, you ain't said nothing to me. That's good. I like that. Stay in your place. Respectfully, I'm not looking for a fight. I'm just saying it because it's what
Ah,
I'm
yeah, you looking for a fight.
All right. Hope I said something that value to your life. I will be back with another update.
Okay, let me get over here. Get to our girl. I can't remember. Wilma said earlier. Yeah, you looking for a fight. You trying to bait. Now, I'm going to be honest. He baiting. Hey, be rich. I'm going to be honest. He baiting. He's setting a trap. He wanted to take it. He wanted. So, judge has no other cases. Why is he sitting in the comment? Because they brought him out of retirement on the recusal. Okay, hold on.
Trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Carmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our now."
As if he not a kid. As if he not a kid. Ain't that how he was acting when he was trying to take authority of the tent, like he on tent patrol? And since now we finding out that they had beat up Eddie Parr, that's why he was scared to neutralize the situation. That's why he didn't want to say, "Yeah, I know him, he with me." That's why. Because they was cussing him out, calling him the N-word. But he carried on as if he not a kid. And when he was in elementary, he was 10. Beating up an adult. Type of shit.
Details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along
Now
with the N-word.
you got unalive by a one. Yeah, you've been terrorizing people, traumatizing people, females, and black people. You was raised to hate. Let's get to the root of the problem. That's how you was raised. So initially, when it first happened, when Jethro Metcalf was, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, I forgive y'all. I know my kids are menaces. Yeah, I know my kids hunt down people to beat them, traumatize them." So then initially you was forgiven until I told y'all a long time ago, until he realized that he could lose his other son. They started it. This kid right here, Carmelo, was assaulted first. They should have been charged. Hunter was the first one to ran up there, initiating a fight, another beatdown. That's what you do. That's what you're known for. And now to find out yesterday that he done, Hunter, Austin, the one she said was a good kid, Hunter maybe, but Austin was the good kid. He was the good one. He done put his hands around her neck. So all that tapping on the knee, like shh, shh, let me talk for you, all that type of stuff. That's cause the whole family is Tales from the Frisco hood. What is Tales of the Crips? Whatever. Yeah. Menace to a white society. Hoodlums. I tried to tell y'all they was the Frisco hoodlums. Yeah. Beating up teachers, Oh yeah, it came out yesterday that he said he had an addiction.
And were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly
Juvenile for what?
Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced. And his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 reveal that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. There's in this motion for a new trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Carmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly
Y'all
replied,
please hit the like button.
"The expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 reveal that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024,
So he don't have no
on at
control.
least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. There's in this motion for a new trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Carmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach.
Wow.
He was
Let
also
me get
kicked out
to
of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a
Wow.
previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May
They were menaced to
2024 revealed that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a
Y'all, hold on.
In 2021,
Y'all still here? Let me end this
for
one.
a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day.
I just can't get over that. He got suspended for talking about bringing a gun to school with another student. And y'all up here talking
Yelling
about
profanity
why
at a
he
player.
have a knife.
Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day.
They got suspended because of what?
Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day.
It don't even compare. Do it compare? Knife over gun? Oh, but we weren't supposed to know about this. So this is Wilma. This was explaining the knife situation in the text.
There's something about like prosecution was saying that like Carmelo was like licking a knife, blood. Is that true?
It's not that he was licking a knife. It's the statement that would be licking a knife. So they are trying to use things as a definite when these things are free. It didn't happen. It was just a thought that was invoked and said. It wasn't nothing that was carried out.
Okay.
But that's the tactic. When you have nothing, you put up smoke and mirrors. They have been caught in a cookie jar. The cookies are actually empty. They have no more because they big ass ate all of them. Exactly. And now they're trying to figure out how they're going to get from under this. The way they get from under this, one, they should not have been the ones that was presenting this. They are too emotional, which is a weakness that is not going to afford them credibility when the judge is trying to determine the procedural aspects of what happened. That is what is on trial, or this motion for new trial, is the procedure, not the emotion.
Did y'all get that?
I heard something about like prosecution was saying that like Carmelo was like licking a knife, blood. Is that true?
It's not that he was licking a knife. It's the statement that would be licking a knife. So they are trying to use things as a definite when these things are free. It didn't happen. It was just a thought that was invoked and said. It wasn't nothing that was carried out.
Okay.
But that's the tactic. When you have nothing, you put up smoke and mirrors. They have been caught in a cookie jar. The cookies are actually empty. They have no more because they big ass ate all of them. Exactly. And now they're trying to figure out how they're going to get from under this. The way they get from under this, one, they should not have been the ones that was presenting this. They are too emotional, which is a weakness that is not going to afford them credibility when the judge is trying to determine the procedural aspects of what happened. That is what is on trial, or this motion for new trial, is the procedure, not the emotion.
Okay, let's move on.
I heard something about.
I got about 20 more minutes, so let me. Did I have any more? I hope that explains some things. Hold on. I do have a couple of them. Oh man, she's not talking on that one. Hold on.
No, and I'm here with Neek at night. She just left the Carmelo Anthony courtroom just now, Collin County Courthouse.
This was
tell us about
yesterday.
what went on in there?
It was intense. Like, one of the biggest bombshells was all of the racist material that they had on Austin and Hunter Metcalf.
They didn't want, and that's why the daddy kept saying it's not about race.
They got arrested for racist graffiti, and then they
That's
went
why
into
he
the
kept saying
reason
it's not
why
about
they got
race.
arrested for the racist graffiti. It was because they spray painted
hold on.
KKK, kill
Hold
all
on.
black people, hell hit.
Hold on. She was in court.
Speaking at CLEs in the past, they tried high-profile cases together. Actually,
This was an hour
good
ago.
afternoon. It's the Fit Lawyer ATL, and we are on a lunch break now from day 2 of the motion for new trial for Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony was brought into the courtroom again today in a suit. It's a light gray suit that he's in today. And again, the attorneys asked for him to be unhandcuffed. Shout out in the chat. I saw Kia Elder as a moderator here saying hello, everyone. Shout out, Kia. Thank you so much for always being present and liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. All right.
Y'all hit the like button.
Cooler out here now. It was so hot this morning. Fit was melting. So Toby Shook took the stand today. He's Yellow Beezy's attorney. He's also Carmelo Anthony's co-counsel from the first trial. He took the stand today, and Russell Wilson cross-examined him. He put his, background on the record and had him testify about his relationship with Bill Werski. They used to work together in the DA's office. They talked about them speaking at CLEs in the past. They tried high-profile cases together. Actually, I'm not from Texas. I'm from Atlanta, but there was a case in Texas, the Texas 7, and Bill Werski and Toby Shook worked together on that case. They talked about being, really good friends. They met back in '94. So they're really good friends. And the purpose of going into that was because of this gentleman's agreement started with a conversation between Bill Werski and Toby Shook. They went on to talk about the gentleman's agreement, and Toby Shook says that Werski gave him a call one day, and they had previous conversations about the case, but on this day he called to make the offer, and he mentioned something that...
You're watching the Wellness Hour news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, a new type of primary care.
About the case, but on this day he called to make the offer, and he mentioned something that Toby Shook was unaware of, and it was Carmelo's, and defined this as a stalking incident with the ex-girlfriend. And so Toby hears this, and he then has a conversation with Mike Howard, and they discuss taking the deal so that they can keep out this information. Well, at the time that Mike Howard is brought the information about this alleged stalking from the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, who is here in court, they are still together. She has come every day to support Carmelo. They investigated it, and they said that's not what happens, and Mike Howard was ready to deal with that at trial, so they didn't take the deal. But as things went on, they got more evidence about things on Carmelo's cell phone. Bill Werski offered the deal again, and at that time they decided to take it. And so they talked about it was a few phone conversations between Toby Shook and Bill Werski before they actually had this big meeting with the entire state trial team, the head DA, Toby Shook, Mike Howard, and Ms. Gupta, the defense team from the original trial. They met in the grand jury room to discuss this gentleman's agreement. And so the point of mentioning this gentleman's agreement is talking about how it all broke down, right? And so as they're talking about it, so they come up with this agreement. It's not memorialized in writing. The judge is aware of it, but it's all off the record. Because remember, yesterday, Bill Werski says that's how we do things in Texas, right? We do a lot of off the record things. So what they were doing when this agreement got made was that they would take some of the witnesses' testimony and they would actually break it down to decide what exactly would open the door to character evidence. They mentioned Tiffany Whitaker, and if you recall from the trial, she was, I think, like an athletic coach or working with the track team, but she was an adult there and had the first contact with Carmelo before he went with the coach. And so what she said to police that day was that Austin was known to be aggressive and that he talked like in a loud, boisterous way. And so when she tested, because of this agreement, that is a statement that they were agreeing couldn't come in because it's character evidence against Austin, right? So because of this agreement, when Tiffany Whitaker testified, they were going to be required to not cross-examine her on that previous statement about Austin, okay? So those are the type of things that the defense gave up by taking this gentleman's agreement. They also talked about, so the state's whole point And why they said they did not contemplate Carmelo testifying is because they never took his testimony and broke it down to go over what exactly will open a door and not.
Now wait a
Spent
minute.
a lot of time
Who?
with Toby Shook agreeing couldn't come in because his character Carmelo before he went with the coach. And Bill Worthy says that's how we do things in Texas, right? We do a lot of off the record things. So what they were doing when this agreement got made was that they would take some of the witnesses' testimony and they would actually break it down to decide what exactly would open the door to character evidence. They mentioned Tiffany Whitaker, and if you recall from the trial, she was, I think, like an athletic coach and working with the track team, but she was an adult there and had the first contact with Carmelo before he went with the coach. And so what she said to police that day was that Austin was known to be aggressive and that he talked like in a loud, boisterous way. And so
Disrespectful.
Because of this agreement, that is a statement that they were agreeing couldn't come in because it's character evidence against Austin, right? So because of this agreement, when Tiffany Whitaker testified, they were going to be required to not cross-examine her on that previous statement about Austin, okay? So those are the type of things that the defense gave up by taking this gentleman's agreement. They also talked about, so the state's whole point and why they said they did not contemplate Carmelo testifying is because they never took his testimony and broke it down to go over what exactly will open a door and not. Russell Wilson spent a lot of time with Toby Shook talking about CLEs and how him and Worthy spoke at CLEs in the past, and one of those CLEs being on self-defense. And they actually produced a PowerPoint presentation from those CLEs showing that, and it's about self-defense. Bill Worthy's name is in the title of the PDF, so it's something he actively uses at CLEs, and it talks about that the defendant should testify most times in a self-defense case. And so that was their whole point, is to show that every attorney knows that most times you want your defendant to testify in a self-defense case. The defendant is the only person that can express to the jury that he feels that he's scared or why he acted in the way he acted. In this case, Carmelo used a knife, right? So the jury want to hear from him to know what he was fearful of, what was the situation, paint the picture. So unless there's some reason you can't put your client on the stand, such as they got a previous criminal history using violence, right? And you don't want it to come out. But something like that, you'll keep your client off. But Carmelo, this was his first arrest. So everyone from the offset wanted him to testify. And so Russell Wilson's argument is that the state benefited from this gentleman's agreement because things were kept out. They didn't bring up stuff about Austin. They didn't cross-examine witnesses that they testified.
Hunter.
They could have because of this agreement. And that is something that the state benefited from. So at the trial, the jury didn't get to hear all these bad things about Austin and Hunter and them getting in trouble and them having the racist graffiti and them getting arrested for that and 12 months of probation and all the N-word usage in the videos that they posted and cursing out teachers and threatening the cheerleaders and assaulting black females, black men, and the videos of Austin fighting people on his cell phone, the fact that Austin actually subscribed to 300 fight channels on his social media. So like they agreed to keep all of that out, right?
Wow.
And so the defense's point of this is you all relied on it, and then right before Carmelo testifies, when they have a conversation in the hallway, Bill Worthy, Toby Shook, and
this is how much I used to pay for home insurance, but
y'all hit the like button.
I use Solvable to lower my rate, and now I only pay.
Carmelo testifies when they have a conversation in the hallway, Bill Worthy, Toby Shook, and they're talking about the timeline for the case, and they're saying, yeah, we about to get ready to put Carmelo up. And that's when Bill Worthy said, wait a minute, we never contemplated Carmelo testifying. So this is when things got sticky as Toby Shook was on the stand, because on direct, he testifies to what we all know happened, right? We've already heard it over and over. The state comes and says, we never contemplated Carmelo testifying, and you all actually opened the door when Mike Howard said that Carmelo was on the chess club. You pull the record, that's not exactly what Mike Howard said. He said that Carmelo played chess, but even the judge, and today Toby Shook said he thought it was ridiculous. The words we will argue that opened the door because it didn't. All right. So remember, Bill argues that they opened the door, and then when the judge said they didn't, he says we never contemplated the Carmelo Anthony testifying. So, deal's off. So that's their point, is that you can't then say deals off. And how did you not contemplate Carmelo testifying? Because you teach in your CLEs that whenever you raise self-defense, you always put the defendant up. So you should have known that we wanted to put him on the stand to testify. And the fact that you knew, so they're saying that Bill Worski's being disingenuous when you're saying that this agreement didn't cover Carmelo and that you never thought that he would testify. All right, so get on cross. Bill Worski is crossing Toby Shook, and they go through the whole, we've been friends for a long time. And Bill's second thing is, that I trust you more than I trust anybody else. Toby Shook says, oh, okay, thank you for that. And then Bill was waiting on him to say it back. So Mr. Work is like, do you feel the same way? He was like, I trust you. But
not more than anybody else.
Carmelo didn't trust you. And that's why he didn't testify. And so after today's hearing, I totally understand even more so why time. And Bill's second thing is, that I trust you more than I trust anybody else. Bishop says, oh, okay, thank you for that. And then Bill was waiting on him to say it back. So Mr. Work is like, do you feel the same way? He was like, I trust you. But the problem is Carmelo didn't trust you. And that's why he didn't testify. And so after today's hearing, I totally understand even more so why Carmelo didn't trust him and why he doubted that this agreement would actually stay in place. All right, so they're in the hallway. They say Carmelo's testifying. The state makes this big issue about we never knew that he was going to testify. So they sit down for 45 minutes and rework the agreement, okay? So the defense is saying that's a second agreement. So that's agreement number 2. They reworked it, and how they did it was Bill Worski stood over Mike Howard's shoulder and actually went through his direct testimony with Carmelo line by line to say, nope, that's opening character. Nope, that's opening character. No, that's not. That's cool. No, that opens it. So Bill Worski was the deciding factor on what open character, what they would feel with open character in the case. Not a judge, not a hearing, but Bill standing over Mike Howard's shoulders going through Carmelo's testimony. So Carmelo sees this, it goes for 45 minutes. And so after they go through Carmelo's testimony, now they're like, okay, you got it in a way that can come in and we'll keep his character out and he can testify. Well, then now Carmelo has 10 minutes or 20 minutes or so to think about this for Mike Howard to come back, tell him about, because the shouting match between the parties started in the courtroom. So Carmelo's aware of this aggression and this tension and this argument between the attorneys. So they go in the back, they cool off, they go work things out, they come back and they tell him, hey, so we worked it out so you can testify. We went through your testimony with Bill Worski. He told us what's not going to open the door and what will. Do you want to testify? And they said today that Carmelo said, I don't trust Bill. I feel like he'll say that I open the door no matter what I say. And so he was too scared to testify. That it started to make Bill feel like the puppet master, right? Because why, if we submit to this agreement, and the agreement is that we'll keep everything under the tent, the witnesses will testify, and we'll keep extraneous evidence out, then why do you have to approve our testimony in order for him to be able to testify? Who wants to disclose to the state their defendant's testimony because you're getting ready to cross-examine him? Why do I want to disclose that? I'm going to operate under the agreement. And if I put him up and it opens it up, then you can say you've opened the door and now you can act however you want to act. But why do I have to pre-approve it? So I definitely see how Carmelo at 19, never coming into this justice system, sees Bill Worski. I titled him on my paper Puppet Master, because the deal could only go through, from what I see their arguments today, is if he could go through everyone's testimony and okay it. Toby Shook says that he doesn't believe, he was taken aback by the state saying that they never thought that this gentleman's agreement would cover Carmelo, because the extrinsic evidence that they wanted to keep out were cell phone text messages of Carmelo. And so
now we got to go help people customize.
Oh, wow. It was getting too good. Let's go.
Phone text messages of Carmelo. And so, how else was that going to come in but through Carmelo testifying? And it's a self-defense case. So if you teach people and attorneys across the state of Texas that whenever you have a self-defense case, you should probably put your defendant up, why would you think that they wouldn't put the defendant up in this case? So it became a sticking point. Now, when Bill Worski was cross-examining Toby Shook, he came and said it's almost like he's now bagging off of what he said during trial, right? And so in trial, he tells them, you open the door, and we never contemplated the agreement covering Carmelo. Today, he says they always contemplated Carmelo testifying. He wanted Carmelo to testify. He always wants the defendant to testify, especially in a murder case, so he can cross-examine them. He says, maybe we just have different meanings of the word contemplate. Maybe I'm saying contemplate. Let me get to it because it didn't make any sense when he said it. So I wrote it down because I was like, those words are not synonyms. So let me see if I can find it really quickly. Sorry, guys. So basically, Bill Wursky is saying when
we miss each other. I've been gone too long.
We haven't sat down and gone over the testimony. So let's do that before. That's how I'm trying to play it today, but that's not how things went down in trial, and that's not ever been the testimony or the statements. And you could tell that Mr. Wursky got very frustrated because he's trying to get Toby Shook to agree that they had different definitions of contemplate. And so Toby Shook stood strong and said, no, like we always were prepping Carmelo to testify. He was going to testify, and you and how you all acted about the agreement and stuff, that is why he didn't testify. Now, Bill Wursky did ask another question, what did you advise him to do? And nobody objected on the defense's side. I don't know why, but so Toby Shook repeated the question. You're asking me what I advise my client, and then Russell Wilson jumps up and objects, and of course, that's attorney-client privilege, so that doesn't come in. But it was a lot of discussion between Bill Wursky and Toby Shook on the direct cross-examination about this back and forth. Like, don't you trust me? You know me. You've been knowing me a long time. Don't you know that, of course I wanted your client to testify. I always want your client to testify. And I shared with you all yesterday, it kind of sounded like Bill Wursky was crying when he was talking to Mike Howard at the end, when he was saying, like, we don't, like, his reputation matters to him. And so it's very important that they come to an agreement on this. And Russell Wilson just had to jump up and say, Judge, I don't think that we have to sit here and force an agreement between the parties today about this issue. I think that that's what we're having this hearing for. We're making an argument the judge can decide. They don't have to hash this out. So like
they know they out of order.
Kind of kept going back and forth. But the words he was saying, he was like, Bill Wursky said, we're saying contemplate or could be the same as covered by. Like, what? So it really feels like their state is trying to walk it back and act like they weren't saying during trial that you opened the door and that we never contemplated this. They just saying we didn't have a chance to sit down and go over Carmelo's testimony, but we always planned for him to testify. It doesn't come across as genuine. Next up, after Mr. Shook got off the stand, the defense rested, and then the state called Bill Wursky. Mind you, I've been saying Bill the whole time, right? Because he's been an advocate. He has been the one that's been arguing for the state. Monday or Tuesday, the defense filed a motion arguing that Bill Wursky not be allowed to be a witness and an advocate in this case. Well, it was right before the motion to recuse. He wasn't a witness at the motion to recuse. And he says today, as Russell Wilson is making his objection to the court, oh, you didn't see this coming? It's been a lot of off the like cuff statements from Mr. Wursky today. And so, well, of course, we saw it coming. And that's why we filed our motion and objection about it. And he said, well, you waited too late. You should have made the objection today before things got started. I've already, done everything now. And so
the sarcasm.
The judge listened to a few more minutes of argument, and he just says that, he overruled that objection and he allowed Bill Wursky to take the stand. So that is where we are right now. Ooh. He's been on direct now, I think, for probably about 45 minutes. Dewey Mitchell, I believe that's his last name, which was the second DA that was on the trial case, is taking him through it. And so he's basically just having him come on and kind of talk about his background, talk about other cases that he's been in. He had him also discuss security measures. If you'll recall, when we discussed yesterday, Bill Wursky is making the argument that the reason they had this closure and they put all this in place and the defense consented to it and waived their objection to it is because of the security concerns. There was death threats against Carmelo, his family, against the DA, against Mike Howard. However, that doesn't have anything to do about the Waller findings, right? So even if you feel like there was this security concern, you still have to put the Waller findings on the record. And that is not what occurred. As you all recall, yesterday when I did my update, after Russell Wilson goes through this entire 45-minute opening, you would think that the first arguments out of Bill Worskey's mouth are saying, no, Judge, here are our Waller findings. It was not. It was, Judge, you got to understand what was going on here. There were a lot of threats. It was social media attention. We were all concerned about safety. So the direct examination, what they started to do was just walk through his history of cases. They talked about this Texas 7 case where 6 defendants, I think, or 7 broke out of jail here in Texas. Somebody killed an officer and then they went on the run.
Urban.
So that was a big case that Toby Shook and Bill Worskey worked on that was high profile. Media was involved. And they talked about how the judge put things in place to make sure everyone was safe. Then they started talking about another case that, not Carmelo's case, but another one, and about the safety in that. And then Russell Wilson objects because he's like, Judge, that's irrelevant to what we're here for. And the judge allows it. And then they started to bring it home. So the point is, they're trying to argue that all of the safety measures and the threats that everyone was receiving and they were working hard to keep Carmelo safe. Like, that is the reason that they had this restriction to the courtroom. Okay. So it works really,
I ain't buying that.
Carmelo's safe. Like, that is the reason that they had this restriction to the courtroom. It's Carmelo's case, but another one, and about the safety in that. And then Russell Wilson objects because he's like, Judge, that's irrelevant to what we're here for. And the judge allows it, and then they start to bring it home. So the point is, they're trying to argue that all of the safety measures and the threats that everyone was receiving and they were working hard to keep Carmelo safe. Like, that is the reason that they had this restriction to the courtroom, is just for the safety reason. And that may be the case. The problem is, you have to put your overriding interest on the record. You have to put the record that you consider reasonable alternatives. And you have to put the findings of fact on the record as you went through that checklist is of why you need disclosure, what the interest is, the narrow way you're going to close to achieve that, protecting that interest. And once again, you got to put the findings on the record. So I haven't heard that yet. So we're in the middle of Bill Worskey's direct testimony. Russell Wilson will cross-examine him after that. Don't know how many more witnesses they have. Where we left off at, Bill Worskey is starting to gear up again and talk about those social media influencers, the people who monetize murder, that they were doxing people, putting the victims' names out, their addresses out, and that they were so concerned about this. And this is why they put in the security measures and the closures on the courtroom. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will be back after court today to give you another update. Hopefully we are done with the hearing today because I can't come back Monday. I got to get back to work in Atlanta because I am a 20-year criminal defense and personal injury attorney out of Atlanta, Georgia. So
let me see if she came back again today before I move on. Y'all still hanging with me? Are y'all with me? Tea sippers, are you with me? Oh yeah, we sipping tea, ain't going nowhere. Y'all with me? I am trying to get back into the swing of things. But let me see if she has did a update before I go on to what I got next. Yeah, so that was an hour ago. Let me see what we got. Let's hear Willie D. Willie D made it out.
Boots on the ground. Carmelo Anthony, new trial hearing.
He got his boots on the ground.
Courthouse.
I think I need to put it up here. Hold on. Where them boots at? Hold on. I'm going to put it on my laptop. Where them boots at? Y'all hit the like button. Where them boots at? I got my boots on the ground. What would happen? Hold on. Did I do this one? Yeah, I did that one. Hold on. Bear with me. Sip some tea with Auntie Fee. Hello, Storm Alicia Barnes. I'm sorry if I missed you. Hi. She said, oh, yeah, she with me. Oh, yeah, y'all hit the like button. Why? Let's hear Willie D. This the first time he been boots on the ground.
Ever wonder why your car starts smelling
One of
weird
these
every
cases.
summer? Watch this.
I'm out of the courtroom, and fam, there's some serious business going on in there. The prosecution, in my opinion, is getting their head beat in.
Let's go.
What's up, family? Boots on the ground, Carmelo Anthony, new trial hearing, Collin County Courthouse. So I just came out of the courtroom, and fam, there's some serious business going on in there. The prosecution, in my opinion, is getting their head beat in. But they're very arrogant, you know. That's
Very.
the thing that stood out
They
more
comfortable.
than anything. It was
Because this is
arrogance,
what they
you know?
do.
But Carmelo got some heavy representation. You know, he got a dream team of lawyers led by none other than Russell Wilson. Super dude. It's really hot out here, fam. There's a lot of people inside of the courtroom. These are a few people that are outside. They didn't want to be subjected to the searches and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to talk about what the prosecutor said inside of that courtroom. The prosecutor tried to talk about Carmelo's text messages where he said that Carmelo was on the verge. On the verge of what? Obviously, he was going to take it and run with the concept of Carmelo being on the verge of wanting to harm somebody, right? But when you say on the verge, you mean be on the verge of, you know, going on a date with somebody that you like. You could be on the verge of you know, quitting a hobby that you like, or even starting a hobby. You know what I mean? You could be on the verge of a lot of things, right? You could be on the verge of, you know, quitting a job. You could be on the verge of listening to your parents, you know? But you leave it up to the prosecutor. He started talking about Carmelo Anthony's text messages, and he tried to make Carmelo Anthony seem like a really horrible person. And he spoke briefly on Austin Metcalf's text messages, and, well, not his text messages, but his racist graffiti, right? But he would not say that Austin Metcalf was a racist. He wouldn't go that far, but he said it without saying it. You can read between the lines. When he say that this dude was reprimanded for racist graffiti, only a racist would write racist graffiti, right or wrong. Right or wrong. What I want to know is, who helped him? Normally when dudes are doing graffiti, somebody is looking out for him. Who was looking out for him? Anybody got any ideas? Yeah. So the idea that he's trying to impress upon the judge is that Carmelo Anthony is this horrible person who deserved 35 years for killing Austin Metcalf, who was really just a really good guy who maybe was accused of doing a couple of bad things. I ain't buying none of that. I said it was self-defense when it first happened, and I'm saying it's self-defense right now. And Carmelo Anthony's attorneys are arguing that there was a lot of mistakes made on the prosecution's behalf. In fact, one might even say that what the prosecution did was criminal. At the very least, unethical. at the very least unethical, which influenced the jury's decision to find Carmelo Anthony guilty and subsequently give him a 35-year sentence. Now think about that, fam. I want y'all to think about that. Even if Carmelo Anthony, even if there was some doubt that Carmelo Anthony was innocent and he was found guilty, right, by a jury of his non-peers.
Did you know you can play hundreds of gospel songs with just 4 chords? These. Let me prove it to you, and my wife's gonna help me out.
What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. I give myself away.
Yep.
So you can use.
What about this song?
Here I am to
Same 4 chords.
Here I am to.
You really give a person 35 years for killing someone in a fight, where they're in a fight where the person who died initiated the confrontation, where the person who died confronted the person who was accused of killing them? You really give somebody 35 years who ain't never been in trouble with the law before? A kid ain't never been in trouble. People like him. People like him way more than they like the other kid. In fact, the other kid is documented that he was a troublemaker. He was a bully. He even bullied cheerleaders. Who the hell bullied cheerleaders, man? I never thought in my life one time that I could bully a cheerleader. Cheerleaders make the school look good. Cheerleaders are beautiful. Who bullies a cheerleader? It's documented that him and his brother bullied cheerleaders. But moving on, fam, I'm just saying, like, let's just stick to the rudimentary facts. Carmelo Anthony gets confronted by Austin Metcalf. He warns Austin Metcalf to don't touch him. Austin Metcalf ignores the warning and decides to put his hands on him anyway. At some point, Carmelo Anthony stabs him. How he stabbed him, in the manner is disputable, right? You can dispute it. One could say, okay, he did it like this, it happened like this. The bottom line is, if Austin Metcalf don't approach Carmelo Anthony, it's a very good chance that Austin Metcalf is alive right now today. Born that he would, maybe get in some type of accident or something like that, but more than likely he's alive. He's at college. He's doing things that college kids do. Studying, partying, messing with the girls, all of that good stuff, right? But no, he decided to play bully, and he crapped out. Now, I understand that a youngster lost his life, but you got to consider how it happened and what part did he play, what role did he play in losing his life. And when you consider that, and then you consider how it went down, and you consider who killed him, and you consider the character of the person who killed him, and you consider the record of the person who killed him. You don't give no youngster 35 years. You don't do that. They did that because they could. If you put the shoe on the other foot, I can guarantee you there would have never been any charges. Put the shoe on the other foot and let several black boys approach a little white boy under a tent and threaten his life. And watch what happens.
They never intended to get busted.
And they run up on that white boy, and that white boy pull out that thing and stick him.
They never intended to get busted.
Watch what happened.
Y'all understand
there
that,
wouldn't
right?
even be charges. This is the sad part about this two-tier system, this two-tier justice system in America. It harms everybody. It hurts everybody. It don't just hurt. It don't just hurt.
Oh, it hurts us more than it hurts
white people
them.
too, because for those white people who think that they can get away with pushing people around and bullying people, sometimes they crap out. They don't always get a chance to weaponize their skin color or law enforcement. Sometimes they crap out. And when that happens, now you got two devastated families.
Mm-hmm.
You got one kid on trial for his life, for his freedom, and you got another kid that's in a casket. And then you got the community at odds. Especially when you got a black kid and a white kid situation. Anytime you got a black and white situation in America, man, y'all know how that goes. So the DA said it himself that Austin Metcalf got in trouble for racist graffiti. Who other than a racist?
You'll never believe
Well,
what honey
excuse
does for
it.
dogs in pain. Oh, here, dogs can have honey.
Make excuses for it. Hide it.
On the label, acts like a natural
Another
enhancement.
racist.
Great for itchy paws.
Who
and
taught them?
eyes
Who
from
taught these
seasonal
kids?
allergies.
They was doing this shit at 10.
Right, racist graffiti. So if Austin Metcalf has on his mind that he hates black people, and he calling black people the N-word, it wouldn't be a stretch to think that he would walk up to this black kid and try to bully him. That's not a stretch.
Okay, he got a recent update. Let's hear
That's
his
evidence.
recent update. Then I'm going to move on. Carabella
That's
High.
evidence of bad character.
They don't have no integrity.
Now, I
They don't
gotta
have...
call the striker striking the ball, fam. I know some of y'all don't like what I'm saying.
That's about the longest I just done sit and listen to you. But hold on, you done came back out there here recently. Less than an hour ago. Let's hear what you got to say. Coming out the courtroom. Come on, Willie D. Come on through. System leak. It says New Black Panthers and Willie. Where is that? Oh, is that what I'm listening to now? No, because this is longer than that. Hold on.
I got you.
Ready? Black Power.
Ready, Black Power. Black Power.
Black Power.
Storm the Collin County Courthouse. No, real talk. We got here for KARMELOANTHONY. This is the hearing for a new trial. We already know that he got railroaded out the gate. He shouldn't even be here. He should have been acquitted.
Fight the power there,
boy. Never been
boy.
charged in the first place. Because this was a clear case of self-defense. Clear. We out here to reinforce that theory, not just that theory, but that fact. This was a case of self-defense. Let y'all know that. And let's go right here. Frisco. In your opinion, what do you see happening? Like, speak a little loud. It's like, you hear me? Okay, what do you see happening in this courtroom today? Do you think that justice will prevail? Or?
We don't know. We about to find out. We could have went from the pot to the frying pan. You know what I'm saying? Because we still live in Collins County. But what we do know is that there's a team in there. You need a machine in America. You know what I'm saying? The average everyday person going in Collins County is railroaded on a daily basis. I just heard a brother come and tell us they're trying to get somebody 128 years for some paperwork.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of racism going on. So we about to find out. The people out here, the community is out here, the New Black Panther Party members, we represent Texas.
120-some years for some paperwork. Did y'all hear that?
We represent Texas. You know what I'm saying? So we here. Willie D, you always cover down. Black power to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? The sister right here from Mississippi, I was in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So we here. Willie D, you always cover down.
I'm trying to go back to it.
No, the people out here, the community is out here. The New Black Panther Party railroad on a daily basis. I just heard a brother come and tell us somebody they're trying to get somebody 128 years for some paperwork. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
128
for
years.
some paperwork. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of racism. I heard a brother come and tell us somebody they're trying to get somebody 128 years for some paperwork.
Are we listening with our good ear?
There's a lot of racism going on. So we about to find out. The people are railroad on a daily basis. I just heard a brother come and tell us somebody they're trying to get somebody 128 years for some paperwork. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of racism going on. So we about to find out. The people out here, the community is out here. The New Black Panther Party members, we represent Texas. You know what I'm saying? So we here. Willie D, you always cover down. Black power to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? The sister right here from Mississippi, we're gonna get you on her show. She one of the ones that in Jackson that they killed her son and buried behind the jail. 600 people buried out of jail.
I was just reading about that too.
Yeah.
I read about it before that.
I met her. She was out there when we was out there for Trey Reed in Mississippi.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? When you covered that.
Yeah.
So all the freedom fighters come together. We want all black people to stand up, no matter what you're doing. You don't have to be a Black Panther, but if you got that spirit, be a Black Panther. You can be an everyday person. You know what I'm saying? You can get now. You can do an email. You can stand up, put a flyer. Everybody can stand up and stand in solidarity. We love how you standing on the wells. You covering all these cases. We need to have a solid block where everybody get in. You know what I'm saying? And when the call is made, we all follow you.
It's all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
Let me tell you something about being down for a cause. You don't always have to come out, hold up signs. You ain't got to march. You ain't got to, you know, even be boots on the ground. Like it's all kinds of ways to support. Everybody got something that they can do, even if you ain't doing nothing but being positive about the situation and not trying to, you know, down what everybody else is doing. Because a lot of times in our community, the people who complain the most do the least. Right. You know what I'm saying? They don't do nothing. They don't donate. They don't provide any type of aid. They don't provide resources. They don't even provide a prayer.
They don't even provide a prayer.
Just talk down and complain. So everybody got a right to complain if you think you did done wrong. But after you complain, you got to do something about it. So that's what we out here doing right now. We doing something about it as much as we can. You did. I've been in that courtroom, and I can see how brothers get railroaded every day. Carmelo got a dream team up in there. I'm telling y'all, it's impressive to be inside of that courtroom and see, witness how well skilled his lawyers are. They're in there killing the prosecution. But the prosecution is so arrogant they don't even know it. Then the DA, this dude is hard. He in that line and everything. He's throwing everything he can to stop this boy from getting justice, to stop his family from getting justice. But the trick is that to expose, and anytime when you're dealing with powerful people, you might not be able to match their money, you might not be able to match their numbers, but you expose them, and that's what they don't want to see, especially when these are small towns like Cowley County. You know,
that's true.
These people used to doing things a certain way. They got a good old boy system, and they got the deck stacked. Yeah. And so you start talking about justice, they're like, justice is just.
I got confidence in their team too.
They laugh.
They may not be arrogant, they're confident.
It's funny, if you watch this prosecutor, it's really sad to know that this guy got that type of power, because everybody don't have Carmelo Anthony resources. Like Carmelo Anthony got Code 13, and plus he got the nation behind him too. So, but we got so many more youngsters that's in the same position. You know, there's so many youngsters out here who don't have the resources, and they don't have the eyeballs, they don't have the ears of the nation. But we gotta uplift them too wherever we can. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the frustration for those of y'all who might be going through that. I understand the frustration.
Well, it is the man.
You gotta keep on pounding, keep on going.
That's right.
You gotta keep on going, because they counting on you quick.
Facts.
They counting on the public to forget about it and move on. You know, this stuff happens so frequently that it's hard to keep up with it, but we ain't really got no choice. Because eventually it's gonna come to your doorstep.
Absolutely.
Right now, you got your distance. You're thinking to yourself, well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's happening in Texas. I'm up here in Chicago, or I'm up here in Saginaw, Michigan. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm telling you, sooner or later, it's going to affect you directly. It's coming to your doorstep, because that's why you got to punish people when they do wrong. You cannot reward bad behavior. Too long in this country, we have been rewarding bad behavior. That's why we haven't seen a shift in these hangings and these drownings. You haven't seen people get prosecuted because they're not being held accountable. So this is why this emboldens the rest of them when they see people getting away with this type of stuff. When they see these uncivilized mutts getting GoFundMes and give send goals, and they're raising $500,000 after they kill one of our babies, they go like, well, damn, man, that's the hustle. If I do that, I'm gonna be taken care of. So that's why they take care of each other a lot of times.
We almost done. We almost done. We almost done.
He said just get a little
We almost done.
He said get close.
We heard him. We almost done. All right, Black Power, come on. Black Power. Black Power. We wrapping up.
Oh, wow.
Again, now, here's the thing. If we were on the other side, you know, if we were on the other side, these are microaggressions. You see what he just did? He would not have done that if we had been on the other side. But this is the type of stuff that we got to deal with all the time, you know what I'm saying? And this is the frustrating thing. And I understand, trust you me, we've been fighting for a long time. We ain't got no choice, though. We don't have a choice. It's for everybody out there listening that ain't really doing nothing, sitting on your hands, or even for those of y'all that's thinking, what can I do? What can I do? It's always something you can do, but not doing anything is not an option. So that's why we're here today, y'all.
Black Power.
Black Power.
Oh, wow.
We ready to move.
They was trying to stop him.
We can do it while she's sitting down around the church. I got video.
They're trying to stop the movement.
Wait a minute. No. Oh, shit. My bad. Video, y'all. That's it.
You gonna sit down? You can.
Okay, hold on. Let's move.
All right.
Hold on. I think I got one more. How long will I be? Okay, now I'll be back later, y'all. I think I need to cut it off. It's going on 2 hours. Let me double check, but I think hold on. I wanted to hear old girl what she was saying. What y'all saying? What we doing? Go New Dream Team. Yeah. Let me see something, y'all. I know it's been a minute. Hold on. This woman, I want to check her out. Hear what she's talking about. What you talking about? Hold on. Let's see. She was breaking down some stuff. What is this right here? Threatens. Can y'all hit the light? What really happened? Is this it? Yeah, let me go here. Can I get y'all to double tap the face of the screen or hit those 3 dots at the top corner? You'll see a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just hit. Is this? Yeah, hold on, let's see this.
Settling for irritating bladder protection?
Ooh.
Ditch the itch with Tennis Skin Friendly.
What do you think of the prospect of a new trial?
Yeah, I saw this. Hold on.
To be honest,
The daddy talking.
I'll say the same thing as I said yesterday.
Under the law. That is true under the law. You'd have to find
Como.
intentionally keeping people.
Last night, or whenever it was.
I saw it.
This
I didn't watch it
is
though.
the young man that's receiving the threats. Probably security is there in
Can y'all hear?
Carmelo Anthony. Whiskey also testified that people across the country has been arrested and prosecuted for making these threats. No, we haven't. Oh, I'm sorry, except for this fool here, including right winger Jeff Lang, who allegedly threatened to bro his you see these words. I'm not gonna say these words. But that's not coming from Carmelo
Jeff
Anthony
Metcalf,
supporters. That's
of
coming from the
course,
other side.
he done went on
That's coming
there
from
and
the
he done
other
got
side.
out there and started
But
talking.
let me go ahead and play this video here. So as of right now, that was the latest update 21 minutes ago. That means in Collins County, it is 2:54. Yesterday court ended around 4:30. So we still got some time to go through this stuff right here. So let me stop sharing.
Y'all listening
Let me
with y'all
pull up
good
this
ear?
video.
Shout out
And
to
then we're gonna see
Tony.
how Jeff acted with Chris Como last night or whenever it was. But let's go ahead and start this right here.
I didn't want to look at it, y'all. So hold on, because I definitely saw it as I was scrolling through.
And thank you, Vesta.
Pretty cut and dried early on. I mean, the case of Carmelo Anthony seemed pretty cut and dried early on. I mean, of course, there was this overlay of race because he was black and the other kids were white. But once you got into the facts, it seemed to be a pretty straight line analysis.
It didn't get into the facts. That's the problem.
He decided to stab someone that he was in a disagreement with to death. The person he was disagreeing with was Austin Metcalf. And you'll remember the jury didn't have a single black person on it, and that was an issue, but the judge had dealt with it and said this case has nothing to do with race, so why would the race complexity
but it did.
Jury matter? And that is true under the law.
But
that
it
is
did.
true under the law. You'd have to find that you were intentionally keeping people of a certain race off for a certain reason, and that didn't seem to be here.
But it
now,
was.
Though, that judge is gone. Not because of that, per se, but because of his extrajudicial comments, which is where he gave an interview after the case, and he was asked if he thought the jury got it right, and he said, yes, whatever they come up with, they got it right, and that hurt their client, and so
let me get on to Jeff Metcalf. Now, Jeff Metcalf, I didn't know that Jeff Metcalf has already hired a criminal defense attorney. So his attorney did not appear on this particular
why did he hire one? For what?
Okay, but this is recent. So they're going to talk about all of the disturbing information. I'm sorry, they're going to touch on it. That came out of court yesterday regarding the Metcalf twins. Now, what Chris Como is going to do, he's going to presume as if some of that information could be true or not, but I couldn't watch the end because he's going to go in more detail regarding the text messages that came out about Carmelo Anthony. Now, I phrase it like that. So for all the trolls in the room, this is why I'm phrasing it like this. The defense attorney, they brought proof of everything that they said about the Metcalf twins. Regarding Carmelo Anthony text messages, Bill Whiskey, he said he just echoed that out in public. He didn't show no proof of what he's saying was true. He said none of that. He just made up the narratives regarding the text messages. But Mike Howard, he even came back and said, the prosecution is giving you this narrative, but that is not true regarding Carmelo Anthony text messages. But come on to the stage, Jeff.
The knife wasn't even full open. Nope, it wasn't.
Come on to the stage, Jeff. Let's see what he's going to say. And once again, he will be promoting Austin Metcalf Foundation. And I think, and watch, he's going to have a different attitude, different tone, different demeanor, because now he knows that everything about his sons, the one that has been unalive and the one that's still living,
we know.
The truth has came out about this. So this is the stage for this interview here. Let's go.
Jeff Metcalf agreed and joined to come on to discuss it. Jeff, thank you for taking the time and the opportunity.
We know.
Thank you, Chris. Glad to be here with you tonight.
So, you know everything I know and more. What do you make of the developments that we saw today?
I thought I had put it over here.
I mean, it's another procedural trial hearing, just like yesterday for the judge. Today is for, talk about the retrial, if they're going to grant that or not. Yeah, information did come out. I'll be honest, as a father, I was disappointed. Very disappointed.
Watch this.
In seeing those things.
But you know
at
it's
the end of the
true.
day, it's really about the facts of the case, because I have to relive this all over again.
Well, stay at home. Don't
No
listen.
matter what the outcome of this is, my son's never coming home.
Because you raised him to be a bully.
I understand, and I think you've been incredibly strong in how you have stood up and what you've talked about and what you've said. And when you say it was disappointing,
You raised him to be a bully.
disappointed in what you heard, or are you disappointed that you heard it at all and that it's part of this situation?
Both.
Just disappointed as a father. I mean, we all want our children to be, the best they can be, and obviously we all fall short. But, to see that information that I had never actually seen before, but I knew.
Oh, so you didn't know?
We had dealt with it at home, but I'm
Oh,
just
you
saying,
dealt
I'm
with
just
it at home. So it's the fact that we know now. He just said he dealt with it at home. Yeah, because he beat your ass. Yeah. Cause he tapped that ass. Yeah. And he put his hands around his mama's neck. Yeah. How he get put out of school 7 years straight. Straight. Hello, Chincy. Hello. Straight. How that happened? Do I want to watch it here?
Disappointed in what you heard, or are you disappointed that you heard it at all and that it's part of this situation?
Just disappointed as a father. I mean, we all want our children to be, the best they can be, and obviously we all fall short. But, to see that information that I had never actually seen before, but I knew at some of the incidents we had dealt with it at home. But I'm just saying, I'm just very disappointed in what I saw from my sons, and it still doesn't change the facts of the case.
That they were bullies.
That's what
racist.
Foundation.
Do y'all see he will not speak about the information that came out about his sons yesterday? He said, let's stick with the facts of the case. They want to stick with
what you said. And when you say it was disappointing, are you disappointed in what you heard, or are you disappointed that you heard it at all and that it's part of this situation?
Just disappointed as a father. I mean,
the whole family is toxic. I agree, Daniel.
They can be, and obviously we all fall short. But to see that information that I had never actually seen before, but I knew at some of the incidents we had dealt with it at home. But I'm just saying, I'm just very disappointed in what I saw from
that
my
everybody
sons.
else know.
And it still doesn't change the facts of the case, and that's what. And this foundation.
Do y'all see he will not speak about the information that came out about his sons yesterday? He said, let's stick with the facts of the case. They want to stick with, and this lets me know he knew about that gentleman's agreement, because the gentleman's agreement kept saying, we're going to stay with and focus on what happened under the tent. Even we know now what happened under the tent still showed that Austin Metcalf was the aggressor and the one that put his hands on Carmelo Anthony.
Well, his daddy said that long time ago.
Metcalf won't even address the disturbing information that came out about his twins, but this is what he will address. Let me back this up. This is what Metcalf is most focused on now. Listen, he won't address the stuff that came out about his twins. That is public. I'm sorry. That's now in a court of law. It is in the transcripts. It was the disciplinary forms, information, the arrest records.
It still doesn't change the facts of the case, and that's what. And
the fact is, your son started it.
I'll be honest, when I left today, I was very angry when I left court. Well, one of the things I'm teaching with this foundation is impulse control, and de-escalation, and to regulate your emotions. Well, it took me 15 minutes today driving home to get my emotions in check. I can understand how people can make a split-second decision, and it can be the wrong one. And it can put someone in a grave or someone in a cell. And that's why this foundation is why I started it, the Austin Metcalf Foundation. So we don't have situations like this. So people don't feel like I feel today. Because I'm telling you as a parent.
Well, hold on, Jeff. Hold on. How do you feel, Jeff? You saying you was frustrated, you was mad. The only thing that came out of court yesterday about what the prosecution didn't want in the Carmelo Anthony first trial to come out about your sons. Why are you so upset about your sons? This is when Jeff supposed to have said, you know what, let me come clean. I knew this about my son since the age of 10, 8, 7, 5, whatever. And I have created this foundation because my sons had issues with their impulse. Jeff, this is the time to come clean. But once again, you're trying to, hey, listen, their supporters, white Americans and black Americans. If you support this family, just know they're not telling you the whole thing. It came out in court, and Jeff is still framing this as if this, in the middle of this screen, was a very good boy, when this boy was a monster to boys and girls. Look at this.
Teachers and everybody, mamas and daddies.
And even he said he had proof that he had issues with violence. Even he said, I don't even know the things that I'm doing. Even he said, I can't stop myself. This boy on the inside, look at this. On the inside, in his brain, he was having issues with violence, addiction, and he even said
he did
lust.
say addiction and lust. He absolutely said.
Documented. And even he said he had proof that he had issues with violence. Even he said, I don't even know the things that I'm doing. Even he said, I can't stop myself. This boy on the inside, look at this. On the inside, in his brain, he was having issues with violence, addiction, and he even said lust. Jeff. Let me play this.
You don't ever want to feel this pain, and nor would I wish this upon my worst enemy. And to sit there and watch my son be dragged through the mud again today, the same stuff that was said for 14 months, if you want to try to assassinate character.
So this is proof. Everything that people have been saying for the last 14 months, Jeff just said basically is proof. And we just got that proof yesterday in court.
Do what you think is right, but at the end of the day, the facts are very simple. He stabbed an unarmed child to death.
He can't even get it out.
And that's it.
He can't even
End
get
of
it
story. You can make up whatever color, whatever happened. Whatever happened 4, 5, 6 years ago had nothing to do with what happened that day.
I just showed you this. This is why I went in order. This is why I showed you the screenshot. He just lied to white America. It was not 5, 6, or 7 years ago. It was 1 month before the unaliving of this young man in the picture.
Do y'all remember that picture I had of him, and you could see that demon in his neck? Y'all remember that? It was, I think I had it as a back screen, or I put it on the thumbnail, but you could see that demon in his neck. And then I heard that he was, possibly had used drugs when they was throwing shit in the trash can. Do y'all remember that? Hell yeah, scary girl. Who's scary? It was scary. Yeah, so to hear him say, here in the documents that he was an addict. Jeff failed them boys. Absolutely, Ari. Absolutely. Failed them tremendously. And then they turned around and jumped on him. Well, Austin did. Yeah.
It was 2023. And y'all, mind you, Legal Docs Talk said that discovery phase It was a volume of both all of the disciplinary actions on Hunter and Austin.
Yeah.
It was too many acts in Collin County that they had a volume record on. Now we know why everybody knew of the boys.
Right.
Now we know why everybody knew of Death, Metcalf.
Now we know why Eddie Power didn't want to claim that he knew Carmelo. Because they had already been calling him niggas and itches and beat his ass and yeah. Yeah.
And Megan Metcalf's sons because they was a terrorist in Collin County, a volume of disciplinary actions.
Yeah.
Some of them even undocumented. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Underneath that tent.
Jeff, what do you think of the prospect of a new trial?
To be honest, it's
50.
I'll say the same thing as I said yesterday. It's 50-50. It's either going to be granted or denied. I'm fine with either one.
How you fine with either one?
I don't put a whole lot of thought process into that. I'm really putting a lot of thought.
Now, oh boy, his partner gone. His golf hole in one on the green. Yeah, a cockroach. Now cockroach is gone. Now he good either way. What? Boy, stop lying. Stop lying. They all making America great again.
Because this whole week just kind of put me on hold and not being able to work with my foundation. My foundation.
In Collin County, a volume
now
of
you're about your foundation.
actions.
Now you're about
Some of them even
de-escalation.
undocumented. That's a problem.
Controlling your
That's a
temple.
problem.
No, you're not.
Underneath that tent.
Jeff, what do you think of the prospect of a new trial?
To be honest, it's I'll say the same thing as I said yesterday. It's 50-50. It's either going to be granted or denied. I'm fine with either one. So I don't put a whole lot of thought process into that. I'm really putting a lot of thought process because this whole week just kind of put me on hold and not being able to work with my foundation. My foundation is my purpose, my mission. This is what's going to save lives. This is what's going to keep this from happening again. I just want to touch other people's lives and change the world one person at a time. If I can save one life, I'm a success. But if I can't, I'm a failure.
Listen, I think that the judgment is in the effort, brother, not in the outcomes. If you're trying to help people and you're trying to help them de-escalate and in the ways that you say.
So if y'all want to see the rest of that interview, hey, go to News Nation and watch the rest of it. But I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. But what I am going to do, I'm going to continue to go over some of this information that came out of court yesterday.
I never listened
out
to
of court yesterday. Hold on, let me bring that up. But thank you, Vesta, for sending me this, okay?
Hold on.
But and then also,
I also got this right here with Willie D. I'm going to end on this one. This is Willie D was talking to the parents. Yeah, now he want to say the world. We are the world. We are the people. Whatever. We are the ones that make it better. And so let's not. Yeah, now you want to say the world. After you done raise these demonic ass kids. Yeah, with evil-hearted and evil-minded, evil ways. Yeah, you knew it. That's why you was talking about I forgive in the beginning. And then you turned to the devil's child as well. Yeah, you knew what you had raised. Where is it at? It didn't foster. It didn't come over. Hold on, y'all. Hit the like button, animals. They worse than animals. Some animals are loving and, you know. They worse than animals. They demonic. They what are them reptilians? Yes, they something different. Hold on. It didn't register over here.
Yes, yes.
The parents was talking. Let me see if it came over here. I don't know why it didn't. And what? Yes, it did. My bad. Here it is, y'all. This is gonna be my last go round, and I'll be back later. What time is it? 3:26. Shout out to Willie D for getting out there on the ground. Shout out to the parents hanging in there. I mean, that's what we do for family, but y'all understand. Let's go.
We just wrapped up the first day for the motion for a new trial. So how do you think it went?
It's mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, because they thought that they were on top the last time. It's like, you can't put faith or trust in none of it. None of it, because you don't know. When they thought that they had it before, they just came and snatched it from up under them. So I get it. Let's go.
We noticed a lot of things about the boys that wasn't sent out to the public. You agree? Mm-hmm. Based on what was told, the narrative, it hurt us, man. It just made us.
They lied to
right
him.
now, it was so much at that time.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Damn, the dude had a penchant for fighting, for violence.
Yes.
Very, very
Never
violent.
put out there.
Yeah.
Never put out there.
Smacking on his friends, or so-called friends, smacking on
wordings he was using.
Choking his own mama.
Yeah, that threw me off. I mean, your mama? I said, man, you got to be different.
And the mama knew that he had choked her.
I mean, your mama? I said, man, you.
His own mama.
Yeah, that threw me off. I mean, your mama? I said, man, you.
Call friends, smacking on
wordings he was using.
Choking his own mama.
Yeah, that threw me off. I mean, your mama? I said, man, you got to be different.
Threatening to slap his daddy.
Yeah.
Don't do nothing. This kid right here, like he was a real problem.
Can y'all hear?
I heard all that stuff. I'm talking about a treasure trove of incidents captured on his phone. It ain't like this is not third-hand knowledge. This is him recording himself in most cases or passing along text messages.
Yes, and it was very shocking. Like I said, right now, there's so much to take in because it's like, man, what? I mean, somebody to do that, and how that picture was painted, like it was the perfect angel. I'm just still, like I said, I'm going to shock this to mama.
Yeah.
And you took your mama.
Yeah.
And you expected for Carmelo to sit there and just get his ass beat.
The prosecutor, Worski, speaking publicly about your son, saying things that you know that are not true.
It was very... Again, because it's like, man, what? Yeah. I mean, somebody to do that, how that picture was painted, like it was the perfect angel. I'm just still, like I said, I'm going to shock this to mama.
Yeah.
And you took your mama.
Yeah. Feel how hard was it to hear them in there talking?
Hold on, y'all. I think I'm sticking. Because they're talking and...
And his father.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it. Yeah, it's starting to stick on me. Oh my goodness. Let's just listen before it kick me out.
That's what I can tell you. Based on, the temperature we have right now, like I said, it's like, man, the things that was revealed, the mindset of these kids, of them, that's what they do. My kid could have been.
Right.
That's what hurts more than anything. Man, as a father, it's like, man, like, what do you, as a black father, well, how can you have a conversation with your son? What can you really tell your son?
Your new attorneys, led by Russell Wilson, knocked it out the park.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
knocked it out the park.
Yeah.
You know, how satisfied is it to know that you have
Yes, yes. Being guys, real, like I tell them, man, y'all have this. Man, we was a family that was fly, we was thinking about everybody on us, we bought cars, we spent the money, we did all this thing. And thinking about it, they doing the same thing to Nola. Yeah. That's like their job.
They doing the same thing to Nola.
It's like they have a playbook. Oh, this is going on? All right, this is the playbook.
They have a
Everybody
playbook.
I got a
Oh my God.
lied. We was thinking about they lied on us. We bought cars, we spent the money, we did all this thing. And thinking about it, they doing the same thing to Nola. Yeah. That's their jobs. It's if people don't see this is it's like they have a playbook. Oh, this is going on? All right, this is the playbook. And everybody know. I got a famous lady tell me this. T, I call her T. T said, "Man, they know how to stay on. They know how to stay on task. They know. They stay on code.
Right.
They stay on code.
The same things happen with them. Same thing. They went to their job. They lied about them, saying they blow the money. They this and that.
Yep.
Wow.
How do you navigate through those insults and lies? They're like, people saying all these untruths. People just saying things that you know to be a flat out lie. How do you navigate through that and try to maintain some sense of sanity? You know, when you want to just explode.
Man, talking to God, this woman here, me and her, we've been, like I said, I feel like with a little more you can say that, I cry, you cry, man, we do more than anything. Like, so we lean on each other right now. I lean on family. It's a very hard, it's just hard, period. Like, it's both sides, it's definitely, but it's hard. Like I said, you want the lies. I mean, who was lied on? Who was lied on, and it's just like, like I said, it's the same play. It was the same play. And if people don't see the play, they're telling you, we can't win to lose.
Right.
Like, you think about it, it was the exact same play. They went after their family, went after their job, said they purchased it. They said, we did it too. We can't work. Our reputations are ruined. Like, with my situation, it's like, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, that's the playbook. You're right. That's what they do. They, create chaos and then play the victim.
Create chaos and then play victim. Okay, y'all, I'll be back later on. Please share the video. Please share the video. Some gems was dropped. We get it out there. And we will come back later. So please like, share the video. And so hit the subscribe button. Okay, I'll be back later on. I'm trying to see. Hold on. Okay, Smash the Topic says Judge Michael Chitty announced Friday, this was 44 minutes ago, that he will not rule on the bench today. He won't rule on the bench on Carmelo Anthony's motion for a new trial. According to attorney Michael Campbell, no decision has been made. Judge Chitty is taking the matter under consideration and expected to issue his ruling by Monday the 24th via email to all parties. So it could come today, but by Monday by email. See how they doing it? But that came out about 44 minutes ago. Now still 44 minutes ago. Wow. Oh my God. Okay, good people. I'll be back later. I'm trying to double check before I go to make sure nothing else has popped out And I'd be like, dang, I wish I would have saw this before. They said Russell out of Texas turned that courtroom up. Russell Wilson, yeah, said he has the DA stuttering. There's nothing like an educated black man. Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to see. Let me see if Judea done came back out before I go. Jediah. We will be praying. Yep. Let me see if he done came back out since. Everyone just told me I was. Oh. He done fell asleep snoring in the courtroom. Y'all. Okay, let's hear him. Okay, last one. We're going to go out on Jediah.
And I'm gonna be, well, the reason why I walked out of the courtroom is because I need to stretch. Those chairs inside of that overflow starting to feel like Frontier flight seats. My back hurting, my knees is hurting, so I had
Can
to
y'all
stretch a
hear
little
him?
bit.
Let me get over here.
However, things have taken what I would consider to be a very uncertain turn.
Oh,
And
wow.
so the reason why I say that things have taken an
Hold on. Oh, wow. I don't know how I like hearing that. Hold on. Can y'all hear? Hit the like button, y'all. As y'all come in or come back in, hit the like button. Let's get back over to him. I don't know if I like his tone. I want to put it over here instead of over there. Okay, let's just go.
an uncertain turn is that although I still feel confident in the case presented by Russell, so I still feel confident in the case that's been presented by the Dream Team. However, two things have happened that has kind of sort of made us feel like this is going to be prolonged. Number one, number one, the in the beginning of this, I don't know who it was. I don't know. Can y'all answer this question for me? I don't know if it was the prosecution or if it was the judge, but didn't somebody say that the prosecution had to be either the prosecution or the witness? Didn't that? Yeah. He don't supposed to be testifying. Yeah, they said you had to be either or, right? So here it is. So here it is, and what seems to have been or would have been the final hour of this, the judge has made a very interesting turn. Instead of the rule that was that they was either going to be the prosecution or the witness, now the judge has allowed for the prosecutor to become an actual witness. So now Bill is sitting on the stand. The same Bill who has literally prolonged this hearing every single chance he has gotten. And now they're sitting up there asking questions to go over this case. But if you listen, I told y'all Bill could have been a pimp, but he don't got no sauce. So
Oh, wow.
basically
Hold on.
what Bill is doing, he is now trying to strike the heartstrings of the judge. I don't, and the reason why is because he is now trying to present this as if all of the things that are missing are simply because of safety concerns. So he just got off of this thing, or he's just sitting on the stand a minute ago, testifying about how people have been being monitored by the federal government, the state government, and the county government for threats. And he's basically saying he cannot speak much, but due to the heavy nature or the heavy scrutiny and the types of death threats, like Jake Long, is that his name? Like Jake Long, he said that they had to get Jake Long arrested while he landed on the plane. They said they had to get Jake Long arrested when they had him on the plane.
Hold on, let me.
Jake Lang, of Carmelo Anthony. Now, Jake Lang supposedly
He
much.
ain't supposed to be
But
in
due to
Texas.
the heavy nature or the heavy scrutiny and the types of death threats, like Jake Long, is that his
Lang.
name? Like Jake Long, he said that they had to get Jake Long arrested when he landed on the
I
plane.
wonder why we can't see him.
They said they had to get Jake Long arrested when they had him on the plane. Jake Lang, okay. They had to get Jake Lang arrested when they had him on the plane, but he said Jake Lang had made an agreement with the state that he would not return to Texas.
Is he there?
He would not return to Texas until his
Oh
case was
yeah.
over. Lang was supposedly
It won't let me.
arrested for making threats like he was going to blow the brains of Carmelo Anthony.
Yep, he did
Now,
do that. It won't
Jake
let me
Lang
change it, y'all.
supposedly or allegedly tried to get a hearing, a bond hearing, so that he can make it to the case today.
Wow.
Now, they're saying that another individual was arrested because of threats to a judge. And that person was arrested by the federal government when they found child pornography on the screen. And that there are other individuals who are being investigated right now who have been arrested for making threats and other issues that keeps the threat environment going. Therefore, they saying that it is because of all of the safety concerns that's why you don't see the pretrial motion or all of the things that you would normally see. So this is what's interesting about them trying to touch the heart of the judge. The prosecutor is saying, well, we had to be careful because of all these kids who was in their last semester. And we picked the June date because they were going to be going to college the next day. So this is when it got interesting. He said, do you know how eerie it felt going through the text messages of a dead 17-year-old? He's talking like that because he wants to prick the judge's heart. He's trying to make this look like this is so dangerous. They are so, and everything that they did was to protect the life of Carmelo. That's the other thing that I find to be particularly interesting about this testimony. He acted as if he was tasked with the safety of Carmelo. Like his defense attorneys and all of them did not do it. He even said that as of today, the sketch artist is now under armed guard because of death threats. He said everybody.
Can y'all hear?
So they're trying to present this in a way. You do know all that is to hit the heart of the judge, right? Everything right now is to hit the heart of the judge.
Right.
He's not even asking questions. He's saying, let's go over what discovery is. Because in discovery, you need this. In discovery, you need that. But if we would have gotten this and put it out, then it would have went in public domain and people would have made threats. They're not talking about the prosecution side is not talking about this case like Russell did. They're trying to fully go off of, oh yeah, they was talking about how Jake Lang raised money. They're trying to reduce it as if this is all. Basically, what they're trying to do is say that because of the day we live in, things are unprecedented, and that content creators and advocates and everybody is doing this for
What
money.
does that have to do
And
with
I'm
him
gonna
being
say
a bully?
this, and it's gonna upset y'all, and it may make y'all want to turn on me, but I want y'all to go ahead and own a little bit of that too. We have put so much focus on trivial shit that don't matter. And we have deduced and reduced, we have reduced the efforts of people that we can no longer decipher real intent versus false intent, when the point should be that as long as you show up, it don't matter what your intent is, we got awareness. And if you got people who are willing to come and you can't, you ain't, then you got two options. Support them or don't. Look at their shit or don't. Send them resources or don't. But the fact that we have in today's age where we got technology made this all about what you can gain, we have refute that foolishness, because guess what? That's what's sitting in that courtroom. A bunch of people who are moved in some way, be it that they got good intent or not, making money or not, advocate or not, content creator or not. All the people in that courtroom are being discredited because you all have helped make that okay. And that ain't cool. And we got to get this. And this is what I'm telling you as a longtime advocate before this internet shit came out. We all we got. And we can't complain about what we got if we ain't giving nothing else. So if you want to put all your shit on the line, your bills, your health, your family, your freedom, and get nothing, then come out here and show those who come here getting something how to do it. So that's what they doing. Because the conversation is, and that's what I'm saying, they better be glad that I can't talk. Because it's really simple. If all of this is going on, where is all of the arrest, all of the charges? So I can't talk about it all. Well, guess what then? That's called hearsay, motherfucker. That ain't no facts. You point out 3 people, and then you try to point out a right neo-Nazi white supremacist so that you can try to give credibility to the argument. You don't give a damn that, boy. Whew. So,
I think he having technical issues. I'm definitely having technical issues. I got to get a bunch of stuff out of my phone. Okay, y'all, I'll be back. He having problems. I'm having problems. I'll be back later on. I will set up another live. Okay? Okay, good people. I don't even know if y'all can still hear me because mine won't move. I can't change. I can't catch nothing. So I'll be back. You're welcome. All right, bye-bye.